Winning one. What are you, Esteban Ocon?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. This is Darth Vader. Darth Vader's not supposed to cry.
Talk about a guy who just finds a way to have an impact no matter what. Martin Garrix. The Morpheus of the Formula One world. Is there a world where Carlos Sainz does not have a fucking seat next year? And through goes Tsunoda!
What's up, Venkers?
Hello, Venkers.
It's Donald Trump.
Yes. Lando Norris' good luck charm here. Donald Trump reporting live for duty.
It took him years to win. You know, he just didn't have the right leadership, didn't have the right inspiration. And then I just came in, I whispered in his cute little ear, and I said, listen, you know, this guy's come to our country, this guy Max Verstappen, he's from a NATO country, we don't like it.
That's
right. It's time to give the people a new winner, a new champion. You know, many people were saying that maybe I should go to Williams' garage and support Logan Sargent, but he's a loser. And that's why, you know, I went Team Papaya. I brought my Orange Army to the Papaya Army, and what can I say? I gave him a Trump bump.
I needed to make Matt Elizoffen eat his fucking words. You know, I needed to set the record straight that Lando Norris top tier and people doubt him, but the doubters can all suck my orange balls. Okay, that's what needs to happen.
Matt Elizoffen at the Failing Red Flags podcast had been saying that Lando didn't have that dog in him.
Yeah,
he didn't have the dog in him. And clearly, he was sorely mistaken. Yeah, wow.
Wow.
What a race to be at, and not really understand what was going on.
Oh, like, right, yeah, sure.
I guess this is happening.
Yeah, I was actually not in attendance of today's race. I watched it in between shows, so I probably have a way better idea of what the fuck happened than you do. So
no, I actually went home and rewatched.
Right.
I rewatched, but yeah, it was so funny. I watched it at the Red Bull Energy Station. Shout out Red Bull. It was so funny because I've been there I've been to Red Bull Energy Station a couple times, and you know, it's kind of like they got the confetti ready, everybody's ready to celebrate, and that was kind of the vibe this time. And then suddenly everything started to turn another way.
Yeah.
And then Lando wins, and it was so funny because like the second he won, the screen shut off, and then a new thing came on the screen, and it said Red Bull Podium. Yeah. And I was like, whoa, they must have not had to like settle for that graphic in years.
Right. Yeah.
Red Bull Podium.
I mean, a Max Verstappen hasn't lost like on track since Singapore last year. I think they said it's been 20 races since.
Yeah, but even then he on Singapore he qualified like way back, like 11th.
Yeah, no, this was a different ball game.
This was a different ball game. He was on pole this time.
Yeah.
Now Lando drove a great race. There was a few things that cut in his way. Sure.
Of course. Hey, usually when Max Verstappen doesn't win, that's the case. But before we get into that, we got to thank our daddies of the pod. And an honorary daddy, Nicole Piastri. Oscar Piastri's mom, who is a fucking Vanka. We love you. You know what? Oscar could have won this
shirt. Who ordered two shirts?
Yes.
Of Alex Albon and Yuki Tsunoda.
That's
Big
right.
shade on her son.
Yeah, because she's a legend. Because she's a legend. Just want to walk around. It's a hat on a hat. It's a little bit on the nose if she's walking around with an Oscar shirt, even though our Oscar shirts are great. But listen, Oscar Piastri could have won that race today. It was
almost a real disaster.
Yes.
It was looking real bleak for the Lando heads. Lando was sixth.
Yeah.
Oscar was leading the race.
Yes.
Zach Brown got on. When Zach Brown got on the horn the first time, he was like, yeah, you know, it's not looking great for us. I'm like, what are you talking about? he was thinking he was having a heart attack over the scenario where Oscar wins this
Well,
race.
I think Brundle asked Zach Brown, like, so was it in like whose plan was it in for today for Oscar to be leading the race and Lando to be in sixth? And he was like, it was in Oscar's plan. That's for sure. No, yeah, no. I mean, this weekend was looking like it was going to be an Oscar Piastri weekend.
Yeah, they were trading blows.
The magic of the kid, dude. The magic of the kid, dude. Oh my God, where to even start? I mean, where should we start?
I think what helped was there was no expectations on him this weekend. I mean, he was battling Oscar. He had that bad sprint race.
Right.
No one was expecting him to win. And then the heavens just opened for him in this very special way. And then even I think when he went to pit, I don't think he even when the safety car happened, I don't even think he thought he could win.
Right.
He was like, let's go get those Ferraris. Like, we got them. It's like, I think he thought that he wasn't going to win.
Right.
So there wasn't any pressure on this one.
Yeah.
And then that second stint, just Max on those hard tires. Who knows? Maybe Max and the temperature and those tires, they didn't agree. Well, let's just start with one thing.
Yeah.
It was a fucking street track.
Yeah.
And shit hits different on the street track. Those Red Bulls, they tend to malfunction on the street tracks because street tracks are weird.
Yes.
When those geniuses design the cars, they're not really thinking about fucking parking lots next to football stadiums beside three highways. It's not really what those guys are envisioning when they're designing a race car. You know what I'm saying?
Right. When they're designing a race car, they're not thinking about the dust. And now when I say dust, I do mean dried up throw up from Dolphins tailgates, you know? They're like, oh, this parking lot's so dusty. I'm like, that's not dust, babe. That is bodily fluids being released and then dried in the hot Florida sun and then released onto the little tires of the various Formula One teams. No, because street tracks fucking always hit. And listen, last year was
chaotic.
it's been a tough couple of years at the Miami GP. It was, first two a little bit tough. Last year was interesting because Max started out of position. That was actually a defining moment of last year's season. But they always find a way to hit. A street track will always find a way to hit. Even the ones that you don't like. Even the ones that are like, oh, but this one, it'll still find a way.
This was the best race of the season.
Easily.
Best race of the season. Not even close.
Yeah. The whole weekend.
Mean,
the sprint race. The sprint race was great. Kevin Magnussen. Talk about a guy who just finds a way to have an impact no matter what.
He's an X factor.
He's always kind of relevant. I mean, this weekend he was. The battle that he had with Lewis in the sprint race, where he's just like, hey, these are your fucked up rules, so I will be taking advantage of them because this is the board that you set up, so I will be playing said board.
I will be knocking over said board.
Yes.
And then he was like, yeah, I did that shit and I do it again.
Yeah, and Lewis was like, damn, like, respect. I can only respect that. Lewis literally said
once he
respected
took responsibility for it, he was like, oh, okay. Yeah, and it's funny because at this point, Kevin Magnussen, I don't know a lot about hockey, but I do know that back in the day, like the Rangers, right? Because Rangers just had a bunch. Because Gretzky was like 5'8", 160 pounds, soaking wet.
Right.
That the Rangers would just hire guys, just guys who could barely skate, to beat the fuck out of anybody who touched Gretzky. Yeah. And they weren't hockey players. They were just guys who could kind of skate and beat the fuck out of people. And they were there to just keep Gretzky safe.
Yeah.
And you knew if you tangled with Gretzky, these guys were literally going to get on the next shift and beat the literal shit out of you.
Yeah.
And that's what KMag is at this point. He's not a racing driver. He's Hulkenberg's enforcer.
Literally.
Yeah. So, and that's what he's become. He's just become a guy that makes hell for anybody who threatens the great one of Nico Hulkenberg.
Right.
And it's working out. It's working out for Nico and Haas.
Yeah, and it's working out for Haas. I mean, it's like he's the best teammate ever. He's not only the best, he's the best teammate ever. And then today, he's like, you know what? This race is boring as fuck, and it needs a little bit of spice. So why don't I throw it up the inside of this tight chicane with Logan Sargent and just give this race some DRS?
Yeah, he decided to do a tightrope dancing routine with the most ill-equipped, uncoordinated dance partner.
Yeah.
Like, there was 0% chance of success.
No. I know, I saw that. I was like, in what world does that move work? Never.
Yeah. With even a good dance partner.
Yeah, exactly. With Lewis Hamilton, that shit doesn't work.
Yeah.
But thank God, thank fucking God for that. Because this was shaping up to be a wildly boring race.
But
now,
he wasn't pulling away. He was not pulling away from Piastri.
No, he wasn't. He was close. There might have been a strategy play at the end. Maybe if you stayed out a little bit longer, you had fresher tires. If Max's tires were dying off, there could have been something there. Max, Piastri, and Norris were all kind of trading fastest laps there for a bit. They were all on some solid pace. But it was still gonna wind up if that safety car hadn't, Max would have just eked out. He would have won by 4 seconds, and that's just what it would have been. But I mean, flashes to Abu Dhabi, baby, flashes to Latifi. I mean, it was just
Max
beautiful.
got Latifi'd.
Max got Latifi'd. And it really was one of these things where it was just and Lando just happened to be the one in the lead. You know, they had just brought Oscar in. They had just done that, and Lando's the only one out there still on the fresh tires. And the used tires. And
it took a while for that car to catch up to him too. So he had all that time. They were talking about that, right?
Oh, right.
Where the safety car got in front of Verstappen and slowed him down, and Lando was like, "Wee!" He got to pit. He just, that's how most of Lando's life is gone. I want to talk about this for a second.
Yeah.
What does this narrative do for Lando? Because that was kind of the one wart on him that made him approachable, that he didn't win, that he hasn't won a race.
Oh, I see.
And now it's just all green lights for this kid.
Yeah, he's having a good time.
He's rich. He's attractive. He's on a good team. Everybody loves him, but he didn't win a race. Now he's won a race.
Right.
Well, what is the think about it. Lewis had a tough upbringing, right? He's the one black guy in a white sport, right? He has to deal with shit. He has to deal with all this hate that he doesn't deserve, right?
Right.
Leclerc, right? His dad died when he was young. He's got this. His godfather died when he was young, right? Mm-hmm. He actually was the poorest guy in Monaco. So
mm-hmm.
It's all relative, right? Where he's from, he's dirt poor.
Yeah. Right.
Max Verstappen had an intense, whiplashy relationship with his father.
Yes,
right?
Yes.
I don't think anybody's looking at Max Verstappen being like, isn't he lucky? This Hollywood girl. So, but Lando, nobody looks at Lando. The one thing about him was damn, he's hasn't won a race yet? Sheesh.
Yeah. No, now all Lando has is that he's just Gen Z, so thus is just kind of depressed because that's what Gen Z is. He's just
online a little too much.
He's just chronically online, but even now he's kind of offline. This partying in Amsterdam, him now he's kind of I think he's maybe with that partying was there was lots of videos of him, but not from him.
Yeah, he unplugged from the Matrix a little bit.
He unplugged from the Matrix, and we saw what he's unplugged, and the kid looks fun as fuck. I want to party with Lando Norris, okay?
He's just partying in Zion right now.
Literally. He's in Zion, fucking at the rave, getting sweaty, and they're punching. He's breaking his nose, and he's just laughing about it.
He's making out with Trinity.
Yeah, exactly.
He's having a great time in Zion.
Right, he's hanging with he's hanging with Morpheus, aka Martin Garrix, the Morpheus of the Formula One world.
Did Martin Garrix just like did he do LSD with Martin Garrix and just like unlock something?
I think that Martin Garrix in Amsterdam was like, Lando, you are the one. And he was like, and he finally fucking believed him. I mean, listen.
And then after the restart,
yeah.
When Lando had a bad restart, I'm like, here we go.
Oh,
here we go. And then he opens up a gap. He starts opening up a gap. That was like when Neo died and then stopped the bullets.
Yes.
And then everyone's like, what's going on?
Right.
Martin Garrix goes, he's beginning to believe.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
That is what it was.
He was beginning to believe.
When he did that restart, I was like, Lando. It was like this was the classic. Like it's when you watch these things, especially in sport, right? It's like you watch a thing happen a bunch of times. Like we were watching the Knicks game the other night. We've been Knicks fans our whole life. When I watch a Knicks game, I'm like, I've seen this game for years, and they always find a way to lose. Right? The Knicks always lose games like this. I'm a Mets fan as well. The Mets always lose certain types of games. And then the other night, the Knicks won, and I was literally like, what? This doesn't happen to us.
Yeah.
That's like, you feel like you're literally living in like a different reality. That's how I felt watching Lando today, because I've seen Lando in the leads. Lando's had a lot of leads in this Formula One series, and he kind of always finds a way to fuck it up. And then today, I was like, oh, the restart. There we go. Classic. It's going to happen again. There we go. And when he didn't lose the lead, and he built the gap, and then all of a sudden Verstappen's like, I'm really struggling on the tires. I was literally like, I didn't know what to do with myself. I was literally like, my hands just started gesticulating. I was like, is this about to fucking happen? Oh,
it was happening. It was kind of happening at the Red Bull station. And they were like, what's happening? Why?
Right.
How did this get to this situation? And people were like, I don't know.
Right.
They're like, doesn't he win everything? Aren't we at the Red Bull station because that's where the winners go?
Right.
And people were like, and it's tough to know exactly what happens when you're there. Mm-hmm. But it was surreal watching that from the Red Bull Energy Station.
Watching
just people being confused.
Right.
And fuck, man, I was ready for the Piastri thing to happen.
Well, here's the thing. Piastri didn't. Apparently, I think Piastri only had some of the I think Lando had the full package.
He had half the upgrades.
Exactly.
The upgrades.
Yeah. Piastri didn't
Lando
have
had the full upgrades. Yes, gives me hope for the McLarens. Yes,
dude, this McLaren car. This Red Bull car, this McLaren car, this Ferrari car. I mean, right now, it is kind of feeling like they've finally closed the gap. Now, this is a street track. Maybe when we get to there's going to be certain tracks, of course, Max is just going to like have the edge. But the fact that like not before this even happened, before the safety car, Oscar was sticking with him. That Max wasn't just sailing into the distance. That they were having troubles with setup, that Max was having trouble turning the car, that the front end was fucked up, the McLarens also, this shouldn't have been a track that they would have been good at. Last year when they kind of like found their shit, when they kind of like figured out who the fuck they were, it was like only in the high-speed corners, like the Silverstones, the Japans. Those were the tracks where they had pace. Not China, not Miami, but in the last couple weeks in these slow, medium to slow corners, dominant tracks, the McLarens have had a ton of fucking pace. Both of them.
Which leads you to believe that in the faster tracks like Monza or Silverstone, they might have their number there.
Yeah.
And you know what was really telling? You know who has like a terrible poker face? The worst poker face?
Who?
Hannah Schmitz. Did you see her face?
Oh, yes.
She looked like she was in a horror movie.
She looked fucking miserable. She was
her
like...
Her eyes were like wide. I never seen her face like that. She looked panicked.
Yeah. She and GP looked like, what the... They were looking at the information. They were just like, no. No. They
were like the agents in the Matrix.
Yes.
That just run and leave and leave Agent Smith there by himself. After Agent Smith gets killed and they just take off. They were scared. They looked scared.
Yeah.
It was really. I don't think we've seen this since 2021. Well, 2021 they were scrapping. They were the punchy underdogs.
Yes.
But this is like watching the big kid in the schoolyard that's been ruling the roost, and some kid just steps to him and cracks him in the mouth, and they're bleeding and their lips quivering, and you're like, what's happening right now?
Yeah.
This is Darth Vader. Darth Vader's not supposed to cry. You know?
Yeah. It's like in A Christmas Story. Remember the bully?
Ralphie's just like, son of fun. And everyone's like, Jesus, and the kid, the redheaded kid, is just like crying.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was wild to see Hannah Schmitz's face.
Totally. Because she was seeing it before we all. I mean, she understood what the fuck was happening before any of us. Like, let's be honest.
She was like, she saw checkmate like 12 moves ahead. It was we lost. Fuck. Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah, I mean, because this happens, though, within, it's like that's what happened in 2021. Now, that was a longer, stint of like that series of regulations. But, like, eventually the teams do wind up catching up. There's only so many like, you can't upgrade the car that much more. And the other teams kind of find a way. And maybe we're reaching that point. Earlier, we did this prediction episode back in February. I said Lando's going to win 2, maybe 3 races. I said Piastri's going to win 1. And right now, I don't know. Maybe it's going to be more than that.
Pretty.
We got a lot of races left to go. There's a lot of racing.
I said Lando's going to win none.
Yeah, you did. And there's a lot of people are going to be really looking forward to this episode. I did a live on TikTok after the race, and there was a bunch of people like, can't wait to see what Matt has to say about this. Matt should be wearing McLaren gear the rest of the year.
Yeah, I'm just worried. How quickly can I go? Does Lando have that dog in him to win a championship, though? Can you string them all together? I could go to that so quick.
Yeah, you'll find a way.
Hey, I'll let you guys enjoy this one. Maybe next episode I'll be like, I don't know. Being a champion, you got to string those together.
Winning one race is one
winning
thing.
What are you, Esteban Ocon?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. That puts him on par with Esteban Ocon, Pierre Gasly.
Yeah.
And, he's half of Carlos Sainz right now.
Right.
No, one third.
A third of Carlos Sainz.
A third of Sainz.
He's half of George Russell or no equal.
He's half it. No, he's on the same page. He's on the same page as George Russell right now.
Yeah.
Maybe it makes it hard for me to glaze him too much, though. I mean, it's not hard for me to glaze him. It actually is hard for me to glaze him. It doesn't. I don't need any help having trouble glazing him, but like all the fucking British commentary, they were glazing him hard.
Oh, I know. Yeah, crazy.
Brundle and Crofty and Kravitz, like, this is such a special moment for a young man from Bristol.
Yeah. They kept talking about like his hometown. I was like, let's cut. Okay.
At the Miami GP, come on.
Yeah, at the Miami GP.
Restrain yourself, guys. Restrain yourselves.
No, we'll see. I mean, he was able to build. He was able to build that lead, baby. 20 laps to go. Built a 7-second lead. Won by 7 seconds. Dominant.
Yeah.
I was bricked up. I couldn't believe it was happening.
I don't think he wins without that safety car, though.
I was watching. I started watching it like 5 minutes late, and then like once it got to the point, I was like, I can't fucking take this anymore. I just like, started, like skip ahead 10 seconds, skip ahead 10 seconds, skip ahead 10 seconds, and I was like, oh my god, he won! It does feel so good when you're like, when you have a guy and you've been like, you've followed him, you've been like, I chose Lando, I chose him. When 2021, I was like, I like this fucking guy. He's my guy.
Yes.
And for this to happen today, like it was a special moment as a fan to feel that. Everyone, people on the TikTok live were like, everyone was like, I was crying, and I just wrote like, how many of you were crying, and it's just like flooded with people being like, I was crying. I did not cry, but I understand the feeling.
Lando was crying.
He was crying. It was cute. He thanked his parents. He was like, Zach Brown went up to him when he was giving an interview, and Lando, first thing he said was like, "Don't break my ribs." Just
that guy
take
can
it easy.
fucking hug. That guy can.
And then Zach Brown goes, "You need stronger ribs."
It's weird because like when Daniel won, it was like kind of like the adopted kid.
Yes.
Lando's like his biological son winning.
Yeah, he gave Lando his first single seater. He's been there since day dot. Since day dot, darling.
And that's what he told us. That's what he told Lando. He goes, "It'll be so much sweeter that we struggled this much. That we, look how far we've come together.
It's true.
We could share this moment together." And then I think winning that his first race with McLaren is going to feel with Zach, who nurtured him since he was a pup. It's going to feel that much sweeter than if he got it, next year at Red Bull or something.
Right. Speaking of, the adopted children, let's talk about Carlos Sainz.
I mean, I feel vindicated in my hatred of Carlos Sainz. I mean, do I need to say anything? Do I need to offer insight? I mean, I've been kind of Charlie Day red stringing things together to prove that he sucks.
Yeah.
I don't need any string. Do I need to go into my box of string and start stringing things together? No, I think
No, you don't. No.
He sucks, dude.
Today you saw like when he's pushed into a corner, you see some colors in him that are not great. Because let's see, first he has the what was it? Oh,
he got real aggressive with Leclerc.
Mm-hmm. Well, Leclerc had a bad start. Leclerc has a bad start. He gets in there. Perez.
Not as bad as Perez.
That was crazy. I told my castmate in my show, he was like who should I bet on? Like, what's a bet? And I was like, he was like, oh, second place. It was a second place bet. Who would get second place? And Perez was like plus 165, and I was like, that's a good one. That's decent. Like, I could see Perez do it. And then, like, first turn, Perez torpedoes through, and I was like, sorry, bro. He was like, not going to happen today, I don't think. That's a tough start. But no, he torpedoes his way through.
Almost takes out everybody.
Almost took out Max.
Yeah. Yeah, almost handed the win to Oscar right there.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, actually, it was Perez that like had everybody check up, and then Oscar was like, "Wee!"
Yeah. That's how Lando. Because like as he was re-entering the track, like he was right in front of Lando, so then Lando had to like slam the brakes. That's how Lando lost those places in the beginning. But anyway, yeah, Piastri's cruising. He's trying to keep up with Max, and then all of a sudden, however many laps in, Sainz starts going aggressive. Right? Or isn't he behind? He's behind Leclerc.
He's behind Leclerc, and he's like, "Hey, let me get a crack at it.
Yeah. Let me get in there.
Unleash me. Let me through. Let me through slow poke Leclerc." And it's like, come on, dude. They fired you. They're not letting you through.
Yeah.
They're not letting you through. And he's like, "Come on." He was like saying like, "Can I get a crack at the front? Let me through to the front."
Yeah.
And he just wants to politic everything. And then there was the moment where he gets into the battle with Oscar Piastri.
Yes.
Who is a perfect foil for Carlos Sainz.
Uh-huh.
Oscar Piastri, whose mom is like when he was leading the race, I was screaming in the Red Bull Energy station. Went, "That's my son! That's my fucking son!" And people were like looking at me like, "What are you doing?"
Right.
I'm like, "That's my fucking son." Me and his mom are like this. And Oscar Piastri is the definition of real G's move in silence like lasagna.
Yes.
Just quietly.
Not a single radio.
Word.
I didn't hear him.
He had a very eventful race. He didn't open his trap one fucking time.
No, not once.
And
so he tries to get after Piastri. Piastri defends. They both go off, and then Carlos Sainz gets on the horn. Like, okay, that's a penalty. Get rid of him. You know what? Just switch with me. Just switch with me, babe. It'll be better for you. It'll be better for you.
He goes, tell him I have his best interests at heart, really.
Yeah.
Like,
it's like this motherfucker. It's like when you're dealing with a motherfucker who knows how to negotiate. It's like, no, bitch. Don't tell me that what you want is better for me. Fuck you, actually. Fuck you. No, I will let the stewards decide. Because he's like, no, like seriously, Piastri, like, it'll be better for you, bro. Like, if you switch it up, then you're not going to get a penalty. Like, come on, baby. Like, it'll be better for you.
Yeah.
They say to Piastri, they're like, so they think, like, Carlos wants you to switch, but, like, we don't think that they're going to call a penalty on this. And then silence from Piastri. Just silence. He's just like, okay, I'm just going to keep driving the car, which is what I'm paid to do. and then it comes out over the horn like, yeah, no penalty. Stewards looked at it, no penalty. And then
incredible.
Yeah.
Incredible.
And then Carlos Sainz, like, what's the Spider-Man 3 where there's the evil, it's like the evil twin. Like, his eyes went fucking black when that happened. He
was shit, I might actually have to do some driving here. Fuck.
Yeah, and then he went fucking insane, went on full tilt, and in his attempt to do some driving, pulls a bullshit move, cracks Piastri's front wing, just cracks it in half.
And Piastri doesn't even radio. They're like, "Hey, buddy, we think you got some damage."
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
usually the average driver they get into a crash. They're like, check damage. They're like, "Hey, Piastri, I think you crashed your car. You might need to come in."
Yeah.
Real cheese moving silence like lasagna. Okay?
Dude, Oscar Piastri is a haiku of a person. Okay, the kid does not mince his fucking words.
You know what it is? He's a fucking real Italian. Is what he is.
Yeah. That's right.
And he doesn't snitch. Even on rat fucks like Sainz.
Yeah.
And then he just faded away. Oscar Piastri just faded away.
Well, then it was beautiful because then he pits. His race is done, but he's in last place, and he's like, I still have like arguably the best car on track. So let me go like try to overtake these motherfuckers. And then they radio to him because he gets in like a couple of close calls there, and they're like, "Hey, dude, like, I know, like, because he was pissed off. Like he was, you could tell he was pissed off because of how he was driving, not because of anything he said on the radio. They were just like, dude, like, so like Lando's winning the race, so like no safety cars would be awesome."
And then he still sent it on Ricciardo.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he was like, no.
He's like, I can still send it. I just won't crash.
And he goes, they're like, yeah, there won't be a safety car if this fucking bitch-ass Ricciardo gets out of the way. Like,
yeah,
I don't know. Tell that to Daniel.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a fucking icon. He's an icon. His whole race was iconic. And, Carlos Sainz was so fucking annoying.
Yeah, I mean, you saw aspects of, like, all drivers can have these moments. All drivers can get hot, whatever. But, like,
he appealed too many times.
Yes.
It's like, it's not your job to politic. Well, he's had to do that. I'll defend him. He's had to advocate for himself because nobody else at that fucking team will.
Right. But you know what's crazy about this whole situation with him, talking about, like, next year, is that, like, right now, it seems like the situation is that Audi offered him a ton of money. He has not said no, but has, like, it's left on red currently because he's holding out for a Red Bull seat or for a Mercedes seat. And the thing is, he very well might not get those seats, and Audi might say, well, fuck you, we'll go find someone else. He's
like that person you're talking to at the club, and you're saying like, "Hey, baby, what's good?" And that person's like looking all around the club.
Exactly.
Their eyes are looking at the VIP section.
Mm-hmm.
And Audi's just like, but why don't you and I dance?
Right.
And they're like, mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's the worst feeling when you're talking to somebody at a party.
Horrible.
And their eyes are just scanning the room to be like, who the fuck else? Can I be talking to anybody? Is there a bigger dick in the room here?
Yeah, and that's what Piastri's doing right now. And sometimes in your pursuit of trying to find the top tier, then you come down and you're like, "Hey, baby," and baby's gone. Baby's gone. And then you're left with what? Williams?
Yeah, it's musical chairs. You better have a seat by the time this music fucking stops.
I'm just thinking, like, is there a world where Carlos Sainz does not have a fucking seat next year?
No, because I think that Audi will wait because he's the best driver available.
Who else could Audi get?
They can get Esteban or Pierre, who's probably
or they could stick with Bottas, or they could get Ricciardo, or they could get, I don't know.
None of those options are as appealing as Sainz, and like Audi can afford to wait because they know their second options aren't going anywhere. Like they can if they want to, they could probably snap up Pierre or Ocon for 1/100th of the price of Sainz. Do you know what I'm saying?
Right.
They know if push comes to shove, if Sainz dicks them around, if Sainz ends up signing with Red Bull, they can snap up a sign, an Ocon or a Gasly.
Yep.
Or I don't know. What if they just fucking were like, let's get Pillow in here and go fuck yourself. Go fuck yourself, Carlos Sainz. Congratulations, you played yourself.
It's just now he's holding off for this thing, and in a race like today, it's like he's had all this goodwill, it's like he's been the talk of the town. Now all of a sudden Lando Norris wins this race, and all of a sudden Lando Norris is the talk of the town.
It's crazy how it shifts.
It shifts, and I think that it's like a race like today does not instill. It's a knock on him. It's not just a sure thing. Well, of course he'd want Carlos Sainz. Not after today.
Well, if you're Audi, the best you're probably going to get is Sainz. Still. I mean, like if you take a cold, rational view of him. All right, I just think he's like, if Leclerc is like, if Max is an A+, and Leclerc is an A, Sainz is somewhere between an A- and a B+, depending on the day.
Yeah.
That's fair. Who are they going to get that's better than that? Who's between an A- and a B+? And who brings that kind of, and in terms of like what he does off the track, he's an A+. He's, very good at developing the car. He's very smart.
Yeah.
He's hardworking.
Yeah.
He's professional. Like,
right.
He checks he's like a superstar in all the other respects.
Yeah.
So he's probably better to have around than guys he's actually probably a little quicker than, like an Ocon or a Gasly,
Yeah, I guess I feel like you already kind of also you have a bit of that with Hülkenberg. Do you get like a person? Do you just go for like vibes? If you're just trying to sell cars.
But the vibes with Sainz are good.
Yeah. Not after today. Today they weren't good. Today they were bad. And are the vibes of Sainz good when he leaves you on red for 3 months? Or do you have a bitter taste in your mouth about Sainz?
I mean, that's if you like to let your ego get in the way of the decision.
Right.
That's if you're Audi.
That's maybe what he's doing right now, and that's what. But that's are these people fucking stoics? No, they're fucking hotheads.
Yeah.
I don't know. I could just see him like holding out for something good, and then Audi maybe going to someone else, and then all of a sudden he has to scramble to find a seat at a Alpine or at
Nothing would make me happier.
Or Haas.
Nothing would make me happier DJ Khaled, congratulations, you played yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he did his usual thing where he scrambled to get right behind Leclerc and had a fucking chaotic race, and Leclerc just quietly finished P3, which is a totally respectable place for him to finish with that car because the McLarens were quick and Verstappen's Verstappen.
Right.
So, yeah. What else stuck out to you today, Brian?
Well,
do we want to talk about how it was like kind of wild that McLaren just had Donald Trump in their garage? Because we were told that he was going to be there, and we were like, as a guest of who?
Right.
Like I was like, maybe the circuit, right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
Maybe the circuit of Miami, like it's Florida. Florida's a little bit is going a little more red these days. But for a global brand to just associate themselves with a figure that polarizing, I would say the same thing for like Biden. You know what I mean? It's just like politics are so polarizing and so
right.
You know, you either love that guy or you hate that guy. That to just associate yourself with a fucking politician is just.
I mean, listen. When early on, let's not forget how Zach Brown described what he was trying to do at McLaren.
He's gonna make it great again.
You know, baby. You don't need a lot of shoestring to figure out where some loyalties lied there.
To figure out what lever he pulled.
You know. Was Taylor Swift in attendance today? I don't think she was there.
Yeah, Taylor doesn't associate herself with fucking losers.
It's truly.
She's not gonna show up at the Alpine garage. Like she was like, okay, I'm dating Travis Kelce, who's like a really good football player on the best team.
Yeah.
Great. Awesome. He's hot. He's successful. He wins.
Right.
Okay, but now he's investing in like Alpine.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to be in this fucking, not even a mid team. Like, why would Taylor be caught dead in an Alpine garage?
No, she wouldn't.
Ferrari, Mercedes, Red Bull.
Yeah.
Maybe McLaren, you know? But those are the brands, I think, that she would fuck with.
Yeah, we thought Taylor Swift was going to be there, but it was a different blonde who happened to show up in the McLaren garage. That's, what ultimately happened.
Exactly. A different inspiration to white people.
A different white inspiration. That's fucking great. Yeah, that was wild. That was wild. Wild.
But it is crazy that Zach Brown said he was going to make McLaren great again, and then it actually took the real guy to show up.
For it to like finally manifest.
Crystallize.
It crystallized today.
Zach Brown was like saying like, we had, it's good to have Donald Trump there, because we respect the office of the president of the United States. I'm like, okay, well then you got to have Obama on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Let's get Obama in there. Let's get all the experts. Let's get Clinton.
Yeah.
Let's just get them all in there. That's the only way that they can, cover their bases. Otherwise, whoa.
Yeah.
That's a move.
Yeah.
That is a move, dude.
That's a move. Said the quiet part out loud. Is what you did there. Let's fucking move on to something that's, this country, right? It's red, white, and blue. Them's the colors. And Ferrari said, we're going to honor that. We're going to honor our time in American motorsports by having a blue car. A blue car. They do a photo shoot. They're wearing blue race suits, blue hats, blue merch. Everyone is bricked the fuck up. And then this car that they brought, not its downforce, not its specs, not its top speed. The design of this livery was so disgusting and insulting to the F1 fan base that I just like. We're now on this kick where we're like, we love Ferrari. We're like, we used to hate Ferrari. They got rid of Binotto. They hired Fred. They started doing all this stuff. We're like, oh, we love Charles. They brought in Lewis. Wow, Ferrari. But then this was just like, it was this reminder of like, ugh, Ferrari. Like, what the fuck? What the hell is even that?
Yeah, it's a reminder that they can blow a huge lead.
Literally. It would have been so easy.
Just Control A blue. Font.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes.
Control A blue font. Thank you.
I mean, the car that it was the first car that they had that raced in the States in 1965 was just blue and white, no red.
And people who say Ferrari's colors are red, like that's their colors. Italy's racing colors are red. That's why the Ferrari is red. It's because of Italy. Ferrari's colors are actually yellow.
Right.
And the colors of Modena, because Italy as a country didn't exist until very recent, as a nation, as a concept. Like, used to be that they were all these like little city states.
Yeah, little territories.
For most of history,
yes,
it was little town, quiet village, right?
Yeah,
that's what it used to be. And all these little towns, they fucking hated the town next to them, right? And there was no concept of fucking Italy, right?
Right.
Rome was a city state.
Yes.
If you lived outside, they were like New Yorkers. If you weren't from the fucking 5 boroughs, you were fucking you were a schmuck.
Yeah.
And the colors of Modena were actually blue and yellow. So this idea, and that's where Ferrari's from. That's where Enzo's from. So this idea, red was just kind of imposed on them because of the country.
Right.
And actually, Ferrari, when he was beefing with Italy, because the Italian Motorsports Club was like not giving him the respect.
Yeah.
He went to the United States, and that's what he did, right? He took the red out of the liveries because he goes, we don't need fucking Italy,
right? And it's just like for a one-off, you can ditch, or you can have little like a hint of red. But this wishy-washy, it's still red, and then it's just a little bit of blue, and then the HP is just fucking all over it, and it's just like, if you just were bold, just give us something to talk about.
And I got to tell you something. Those blue livery, the blue uniform stuff, those all sold like hotcakes.
Everyone was wearing those.
The blue shirts.
Yes.
They looked so good.
Yeah.
I wanted one so bad.
Yeah, they looked amazing.
So I can have disposable income.
That's right.
And yeah, I mean, it was the biggest cock tease. It was bigger than the Alpine camo thing, I thought, because it's the Alpine camo thing. Everyone's like, oh my god, they hinted at the Alpine camo and they didn't do it. I'm like, the pink camo is only cool because it's so wild.
Yeah.
But it's not actually like an amazing design. It's just
out there.
It's just out there.
Also, it's Alpine, so who gives a shit? This is Ferrari. Exactly. So it's like everyone's going to be looking at this. Everyone wants to love it. That's what it was. It was just like everyone was so like it's actually just kind of sad because everyone was just like, "Oh, that's it."
They jerked us off and then they kicked us in the nuts right when we were about to come. That's what they did.
And we actually, as much as you might think we do, we don't like that.
We don't like that.
We actually don't like that.
I want to talk, and I want to say, well, you know what my favorite moment of the race was?
Yeah.
Gotta be after, I know we touched this already, is when KMag and Sargent crashed.
Yeah.
Like KMag, I actually love KMag so much.
Yeah.
He fucking took out this guy whose career is like, he's on borrowed time, right?
Yes, he is.
Antonelli's license. They're like, can we speed this?
Yeah,
Can we speed this up? He can't. This kid can't age fast enough. This child cannot age fast enough for us to get him in the car. Can we get an exemption on his license? Like, the doomsday clock on Sargent is negative time. Right?
Yeah.
And he's at his home race, and Kevin Magnussen, he just fucking sent it in the tightest, little asshole part of the track. Sends Sargent into the wall.
Yeah.
And then the image of Sargent being in the wall and then K-Mag like kind of backing up and then just doing a fucking hit and run.
Yeah.
Was my favorite image of the race.
Yeah.
Him just driving away from the scene of the crime.
Yeah, with a broken
Something
broken front
about
wing.
it was so beautiful. I love that he was able to just keep trucking along because he's the fucking Terminator.
Yeah.
It was so beautiful.
No, it's amazing. It's so good.
Didn't exchange information. Didn't check to see if Logan was okay. Just fucking. There's P16 out there with my fucking name on it.
Yeah,
I got places to be.
Yeah.
You know, maybe when Hulkenberg, it needs a new pit stop, I can fucking knock one of these other fucks out of the race. I mean, here's the thing: is everyone saying, "Oh, like, isn't that cool that K-Mag's doing this? Wasn't he a legend? Isn't he a Giga Chad for creating these penalties?" We're on a fucking slippery slope. When's he crashing into somebody and causing doing what Piastri? What we were scared of Piastri doing,
right,
to benefit Hulkenberg.
Yeah.
That's the next step. We're
it's a rule thing.
PK,
It's a rule thing.
PK Junior.
Yeah. It's
not illegal for him to race hard against somebody and like if I get him, great. If I cause a safety car, Hulkenberg hasn't pitted yet, great.
Is he in danger of like racking up enough penalties that he has like strikes on his license? He might have to miss a race.
He definitely.
Like how close is he to that? Because he must be getting close.
He must be getting close.
He must be getting real close.
I mean, he'll be the guy in the Supermax prison being like, yeah, and I'd do it again.
Yeah.
No remorse.
That is his vibe.
No remorse. He'd go before the parole board. It's like, do you feel remorse? Absolutely not.
Yeah.
Somebody needs to stop him. He's a super villain.
He's cold-blooded. That guy really does not give a fuck.
I mean, it makes you think, though, like, he's probably the best friend in the paddock that you could have.
Yeah. Okay, this is the situation. It moves him into 10 penalty points for the 12-month period after he picked up 3 for his driving in the sprint race after a fierce battle with Lewis Hamilton over 8th place. In total, he picked up 65 seconds worth of penalties across the weekend to go with 5 penalty points. All of K-Mag's penalties during the Miami Grand Prix. 10-second penalty for leaving the track and gaining an advantage in the sprint battle with Lewis. 10-second time penalty for leaving the track and gaining an advantage in the sprint. 2 of those. Wait, 3 10-second penalties for leaving the track and gaining an advantage with Lewis. Just cutting chicanes and being like, sorry, fuck you. 3 penalty points for the 3 incidents above. A 5-second penalty for leaving the track with a justifiable reason. And a 10-second time penalty for the Logan Sargent collision. 2 penalty points for that.
So he's at 10. How many before he gets a race ban?
Yeah, when does his license get? 12 points.
He'll get that'll be give it a week. Give it one more race.
So 2 more strikes, he's out for a race.
Yeah, but it's not even 2 more strikes cuz you can get multiple points for an infraction.
Right.
1 point is like, crossing the pit line. Incorrectly. It's like a little thing. It could be 1 point is like a little thing. 2, I mean that's a fucking he can get those in an afternoon. That's an average. That's your average Sunday morning with Kevin Magnussen.
I wonder if he is this his last year? Maybe he knows. Maybe he's like, this is it, going out with a blaze of glory.
Not necessarily. Hulkenberg being gone, it really helps him.
Yeah,
and they might want to just keep him there to see where Ollie stacks up, or. He could get fucked if Gasly and Ocon are just trying to get out of there.
Right.
Although Gasly's been getting fucking steamrolled.
Yeah, it's just hard for me to really pay attention when it's like, what did Ocon get?
The
today?
car sucks.
Ocon got a point.
He pit in that 3-second because of that cone. He got that cheap VSC.
Oh
pit.
Yeah, the cone. Yeah, no, that was Max was all over the place. That when he fucking hit that cone. That was The guy was kind of.
I was like, wow, Perez just another. He's just not. He doesn't feel it today. And they're like, no, that was Max. I go, oh my god, that was Max.
What? You had a very up and down weekend, Daniel Ricciardo. Talk about the high highs and the low lows.
I mean, I interviewed him this weekend, and it was new chassis who dis, right? He got the better of Yuki last race, and he qualified in the sprint like fourth,
and he got fourth in the sprint, didn't he?
Yeah, and I was ready to.
I mean, it was big.
Create
that
a
was
petition
big.
to get Yuki a new chassis.
Yeah.
I was ready.
Right.
I was ready, and everyone was like, and people, the chassis truthers were out here, being like, maybe it was the chassis, and then shame on us for ever doubting
Yuki fucking Tsunoda, dude.
Japanese baby Jesus.
Well, he had a great sprint as well. I mean,
yeah, he picked up like 9 play. How many play? Because he qualified like shit.
Yeah, I think he picked up like 9 or 10 places.
Yeah,
he
got points in the sprint.
Yeah, he
right?
got points in the sprint because Hamilton had a penalty.
But Ricciardo got a bunch. Ricciardo got like 5th. What did he get in the sprint? Ricciardo had a great sprint.
Yeah. Danny Rick got 4th in the sprint, which gives him 5 points. That's serious when you're battling for those, whatever, for the bottom of this grid for that 5th, 6th place, 5 points. It's kind of major. And
yeah, but then Yuki,
he got 5.
Q3 King.
Yeah,
he qualified 9th or 10th, and Daniel got knocked out, I think, at Q1. And then Yuki drove a fucking hell of a race. He drove a hell of a race, and I think Daniel came near dead last.
Yeah.
And Yuki got P7.
Yeah.
I mean, what more does this kid have to do?
He's so good.
What more does this kid have to do?
Yeah, today was an amazing day for me because Yuki did great. Lando won. It's an amazing race. I'm like, I need to savor it.
Yeah, I mean, I was disappointed that Lando won because I was like, no one's going to pay attention to Yuki's performance. Everyone's going to miss the real news is that Yuki got P7.
Everyone's going to be so
really just
hot and bothered by this fucking Lando winning his first race after 110.
Everyone's missing the real storyline.
Did you not see Yuki Tsunoda get P7? Iconic, though, that also, before we get into our awards, whatever, iconic that, like, the Mercedes, that, like, Lewis Hamilton has spent this whole weekend battling with Haas's. That, like, the Mercedes team right now is just, like...
Not like this. Not
just,
like this.
Like, oh, who are we going up against today? Like, going up, Sunday morning, rocking up to the track, as they say, even though it makes no fucking sense. Who's our main competitor today? Oh, that'll be the Haas organization. That'll be the Haas organization today for you, Mr. Hamilton. The Haas organization.
Yeah, Lewis Hamilton at the ugly table, like Larry David. How did I end up like this?
Yeah,
literally. Yeah, Lewis. It's painful watching him battle the Haas's.
Yeah,
Lewis Hamilton, who we have on good authority. Fan of the pod.
Lewis Hamilton, fan of the pod. Lewis, stop beating around the bush. Come on the pod, okay?
Okay, so first let's just talk about he's battling with the Haas's.
Yes.
Shameful, just terrible, watching your favorite actor just doing, straight to DVD movies now. You're like, how did this happen? How did we get here?
Yeah. He's got a big project coming up, but you're like, he's still on. This is the show he's on right now. This is what he's doing.
And you see these McLarens, right, that are just in their fucking engine.
Yep.
Making a serious play at winning races.
Yes.
And the delulu of Toto Wolff being like, I said it before, Sunset Boulevard delulu being like, we can get Max. It's like, no, you fucking can't.
You can't. Max this week was like 200. What if they offer you $250 million a year? And Max goes, I want to be in the best car. So no.
It's crazy. It's like Toto is like the high school quarterback who's now older and bald and overweight, who still thinks he can pull.
Yep.
The young woman. It's
right.
Like, no, dude, it's over.
He's like, but look at my championship rings. Look at my championship.
Look
1985 state champs, babe.
Look at my huddle tape from 2004.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Look at my high school mixtape.
Yeah.
It's over, dude. It's over. And in that same, it was so funny because we have our partner at Friday Beers. His name is Jacob. He's a big branding social media guy. He goes, what happens for a team like Williams? Like, what kind of stuff do they post after a race like that?
Yeah.
He's like, what do they even post? Like, what can you even post from a branding perspective? I go, they might post a thing of them looking sweaty and tired, and it's like not the result we wanted.
Yeah.
But we keep pushing. They always say, "But we keep pushing." You know, that's the loser post. That's the Joe Biden loser post, right?
I remember when my agents, when I sometimes I don't really do this anymore. If I would go in for something and then I wouldn't hear back for like a week, I would email them being like, "Have we heard anything on this?" Which is just like what actors do. It's like, hey, guess what? If we did, you would know. Okay, that's the reality.
Yeah, if you booked the Marvel movie, I think they would have told you.
Anyway, I would send those emails, and then my managers would just be like, "Not happening on this one. Onward." And I was like, "Onward was such a onward. It is the same as Let's Keep Pushing, and it's so cringy, fucking
so
triggering
cringe.
for me. So cringe."
But then. After Williams' race today, after Logan gets knocked out and Alex Albon just fucking cooks it into that aquamarine painted wherever the fuck that was. It's where the idiots go. Here, we need this for the idiots that over steam a corner.
Right.
And Jacob, he just goes on his phone and he's like, nothing. It's 20 minutes after the race. They don't got nothing up. It just said, let's go. Which is what they posted before the race.
Yeah.
And I guess they were waiting for James Vowles' great treatise.
Yeah.
Into the airport.
Yeah.
James Vowles like, I got this.
Yo, ISO ball. Everyone clear out. Let me take this.
Yeah. Don't worry about it. I'm going straight to Cam.
Yeah, in grainy, bad lighting in my car. And let me say the same platitudes and fucking bullshit that I say every week. And I overpromise and I say we're looking at it and we do all this stuff. I mean, I
blame the Claire Williams regime. Not my fault. I take full responsibility, but really it's the infrastructure that Claire Williams left behind.
Yes.
But somehow Haas seems to figure it out, and Visa Cash App RB seem to figure it out, and I mean, it's tough. It's really tough, and
now they're trying to make a play for Newey, and it's just like, babe, just
it's also Sunset Boulevard.
It's delulu. It's motherfucking Lou. Yeah. Also, he's also James Vowles was in a press conference talking about how I don't know anything about these Kimi Antonelli, absolutely not. But then also saying Logan does have targets that he needs to hit this year, and he does, but leaving the door slightly ajar, but vehemently saying that Kimmy's not going to be in the seat, basically.
What does he think we're gerbils and that we'll just forget this?
It's just
how little respect
do
you have? when I say this James Vowles thing, when I give this James Vowles hate, and I say,
right.
Knew he's never going there.
Yeah.
Right? When I say that, I am fully aware, like, I might have to walk this back and say I was an idiot.
Yeah.
If it does happen.
Right.
But I'm confident that it won't. Right?
Yes.
And I have to go and say, I was a Lando hater, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah,
right? Yeah. I'm rarely wrong, though, because I came out strong against Toto.
Uh-huh.
I come out strong against Sainz.
Yep.
And I think I've been proven. I mean, Sainz had a hot start, but his appendix sucks, and Leclerc's return to
just give
form.
it time. Just give it
time. It's spikes. It's trends, not spikes. Yeah. And I think Vowles just thinks we're all just fucking gerbils, and we're gonna forget that. It's actually very Trumpy. Like, let's just get through the week because these idiots won't remember what I said yesterday.
Yeah, no, the North remembers, babe. The
North fucking remembers. We remember that you big upped Sargent and said that he was, you believed in him fully. Then you fucking took his car.
Yep.
When Alex Albon crashed it. Now you're saying you have no Kimi Antonelli.
Yeah. Never heard of him. Yeah. How stupid do you think we are?
How stupid do you think we are? Because he thinks that when it happens, like, we're going to forget that you said that.
Yeah.
Like that. It's like he has so little respect for us.
Right.
He thinks he's just like he's like fucking Cerebro and he's on some other fucking plane and we're all just a bunch of fucking morons.
Yeah. It's like, we know what this game is, baby. We know this is what the game is. Stop pretending like you're not playing the game.
It's like Christian Horner is like at least honest. He's like, Carlos Sainz is looking pretty sexy out there.
Yeah.
He leaves the door open. He's like, hey, look, Perez is our guy, but Carlos Sainz is also pretty appealing.
Yeah.
And Helmut Marko will just be like, Yuki's not the guy.
Right.
He's like, they're honest.
Right.
They kind of respect their audience.
Yeah, they don't think that people like. It's just like, this is what it is. This is a cut. This is what the world is. This is the game that we're playing.
Yeah.
As if we're watching it and thinking that it's like, I don't know, that it's fucking kumbaya time, baby. No.
It's like you are basically a Toto clone. Like you were grown on fucking Toto's shoulder, like a fucking stem cell project.
Yeah.
You mean to tell us that Toto didn't mention this Kimi Antonelli obsession to you?
Yeah. No.
It's fucking crazy.
Fuck out of here.
Kaime Antonil.
Yeah.
Kaime Antonelli.
Yeah, he's what? Who is he? Oh, he's in F form. What is F2?
Yeah.
Fuck off.
Fucking crazy.
All right, let's get into our awards. Hottest moment of the day. You know what I'm going to give a hottest moment of the day to? And through goes Tsunoda! And through goes Tsunoda! When KMag and fucking Lewis were battling in the sprint, because we were at the Red Bull Energy Station, we were watching it, and I was like, wait, because Yuki was like right behind him, and I was like, this could be, like, these guys are fucking throwing elbows. Like, this could be a through goes Tsunoda moment. And sure enough,
you called it.
I called it. I was like, this could be a through goes Tsunoda. And then all of a sudden they go off, and then fucking through goes Tsunoda.
Many people are saying that this could be a changing of the guards from Hamilton to Tsunoda.
Yeah, that it's gonna be a friendly changeover of power. Okay,
from an old goat to a young goat.
That's right. Because we're gonna give Lando other awards. I just wanted to make sure that that moment was recognized and acknowledged.
Yeah. Yes.
And through goes Tsunoda. What's yours? Hottest moment of the day.
Hottest moment of the day. Hottest moment of the day for me has to be the KMag driveway.
Yeah.
The hit and run. Yeah. I fucking was so happy when that happened. I loved that moment.
That's amazing.
It's just like, I'm an outlaw, quick on the draw.
He might as well have put his finger up, just like, fuck you, middle finger. Like, just fuck you, suck my dick.
Suck my dick from the back.
From my dick from the whole back.
He's such a legend.
All right, daddy of the day. Lando motherfucking daddy Norris, baby.
It's gotta be Donald Trump. It has to be Donald Trump. He made it happen. He instilled something in those men.
Yeah.
He said, Lando, if you want to win your first race, you have to show strength. You have to show strength.
Love
and
it.
they asked Lando about it. They were like, so what's it like, Trump congratulating you after the race?
Mm-hmm.
Trump only associates it. Trump's like, look, I only associate myself with fucking winners. So
it's crazy. I can't believe that happened.
And
it's dumbfounding.
Because here's the thing. When you're Zach Brown and you welcome Lando into your garage, you're and he says, I didn't see him in the garage, to be honest. I was prepping for the race and maybe avoiding him. I don't know. But he saw me after and he came up to congratulate me. And then he wrote, I guess it's an honor. Because whenever you have someone like this, it has to be an honor for them to come up to you. It has to be. I guess there's no other way to put it.
Yeah.
To take time out of their life to pay their respect for what you've done. He said he was. That's amazing. Trump. Yeah. I love Lando for giving us this.
Yeah.
He said he was my lucky charm because it's my win. So I don't know if he's going to come to more races now. Added the 24-year-old. Such a Trump move to center Lando's win around himself.
Of course he's going to do that. Guess I was your lucky charm, wasn't I? Hey,
you don't see Joe Biden helping you win.
I bet he said you're welcome. I bet he said that. I mean, I would put so much money on the fact that Trump probably was like, "You're welcome, kid." Oh, that is so fucking great. That's
Daddy of the day.
Funny.
Daddy of the day. Just the boomer narcissism of all of
full
our fathers.
Boomer narcissism. Literally. No, I'm honoring you. Yes. Must be a great honor for you to meet me. Yes, it must be. Yes. Fucking crazy. All right, radio of the day.
Radio of the day. I don't know.
What about Lewis? When Lewis was like, I'd love some more power, guys. Can I get some more power?
Give it to me. Give it to me, baby.
Give me the power.
Yeah, that was great. That was great. I agree with that. I mean, all the airtime was given to Karen of the day. Unfortunately, like Sainz was
the radio day was really the Karen of the day, which was Sainz.
It was just Carlos Sainz just constantly bitching and moaning and politicking and trying to be Machiavellian over the fucking radio, trying to tell Oscar what was best for him.
Crazy, toxic. Toxic.
Yes.
No, seriously, Oscar. This is what's good. This is gonna be way better for you. I promise me.
It's win-win.
Trust me.
It's win-win.
I promise you. Just look in my eyes. I'm telling you. This is the way.
Yeah. He's feeling his hot streak kind of slip away from him, and now he's trying to fucking. He's still living in that moment that was like 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, whatever it was. And he was reading his own press. Like, they did fire the wrong fucking guy.
Yeah. He's high on his own motherfucking supply.
Yeah. Hey, let me through, Leclerc. It's like, what are you? That is delulu. You got fired.
Mm-hmm.
Leclerc is Leclerc. He's not letting you through.
There's so much delulu energy floating around the paddock. So much delulu.
So who are your top three? I mean, Toto number one, delulu.
Toto delulu, Vowles delulu, Sainz delulu. Sainz would fit right in with those guys, I guess. They're all delulu in a similar way.
Alonso is delulu this weekend.
With what?
His, like,
oh yeah,
Lewis doesn't experience racism like I do.
Yeah, crazy.
I mean, Lewis. I mean, Lewis has never experienced racism. He's not Spanish.
He doesn't understand what discrimination is. Not like me. Not like me.
Yeah. I love when he does that. It's not the first time he's done this. It's like, look, Lewis has had a blessed and easy life.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm Spanish.
Yeah.
Know.
Crazy.
When you look at Lewis, all you see is just privilege. And when you look at me, you just see someone who is othered.
Yeah.
It's just the lack of awareness is just so iconic.
It's incredible. The narcissism and the lack of any self-awareness when it comes to this shit. So funny. So funny. He's such a narcissist. I love it.
He's
so funny.
It's perfect. It's perfect.
Red flag of the day. We were just talking about it. It's obviously,
I mean, it's got to be. It has to be. I mean, Carlos Sainz is like a triple crown winner of just every bad thing that happened this week.
A bunch of people are saying KMag, and I'm like, you don't understand. Like, I guess, red flag in the same way that, like, Vanka's a good thing. If it's a good,
I think a red flag is more, he's not like, he's so open about it.
Yeah.
He tells you on the first date.
Right.
Like, I don't believe in monogamy.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
So it's kind of on you.
Yeah.
At this point.
Yeah, that's what he is.
Yeah. If you try to fix him and then in 5, you know what I mean? Then that's your fault.
Right.
It's more of a red flag if it's to me if it's kind of gaslighty and toxic and
right. Yeah, it's more red flaggy if it's Carlos Sainz saying, "Hey, this will be better for you."
Yeah, I'm actually trying to help you right now.
Kimi Antonelli? No, we could get maxed. We can get max. These are red flag behaviors.
Yeah. Yeah.
KMag being like, no, like, all those penalties were completely deserved, but I'm going to do what I got to do to help my team.
Yeah.
Not a red
He's
flag.
Straight up.
That's green flag city, baby. What is this, green flag city?
Yeah, no. I mean, you know exactly what to expect when you go into a corner with that guy, which is that you're going to crash.
You're going to crash.
You're going to lose a rear wing or a front wing.
So leave some space.
Leave some motherfucking space.
Leave some motherfucking space.
Yeah, and that's kind of Sargent's fault. It's like, come on.
Right.
You're near KMag, you got to be checking your mirror.
Yeah. I don't think he thought at all that he was going to throw it up that inside there, but
why not?
I guess, yeah.
It's motherfucking KMag, dude.
Yeah, that's a good point. No, but it's like, and in the same way that, like, that's why Lewis respected it because he just owned it, is like the same, like with the whole Stroll situation that happened with Ricciardo, where Stroll was like, that was actually Ricciardo's fault. And then
that's a red flag right there.
Yeah, and then Ricciardo was like, oh, now I'm pissed. He was like, oh, I'm pissed now. Okay, fuck that guy. Yeah. Ricciardo said, fuck that guy.
Yeah.
Because he wouldn't take ownership of his shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's when you maturing is realizing that it's not necessarily about the behaviors, it's about how you deal with the behaviors and how you engage with the behaviors.
Well,
because
if you don't deal with the behavior, it's like, oh, we're just gonna be stuck in a loop here, and it's gonna keep happening.
Right. And we're all capable of all kinds of behaviors. Every driver is capable of yelling at an engineer, of bitching on the radio, of doing X, Y, or Z. But then when, like, after the fact, they're like, no, I wasn't doing, like, you know, if then all of a sudden you start to deny, it's like, that's the gaslighting. That's the this, that, you know, like that, then you get into manipulation.
I'm sorry you feel that way.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You know, there's all kinds of ways to not take responsibility or to apologize in a fucking weak-ass way.
Right.
But Miami GP delivered. Fucking delivered.
Dare I say, one of the only races we've ever had that might compete with the LVGP?
Yep.
Arguably,
it was right.
Arguably, is this the first race that I might say was better than the LVGP? I'm gonna say it.
Might be better than the LVGP.
It's not a coincidence that it was in America. Let's be fucking honest.
Yeah.
Oh, I hate.
Oh my God! Wait, the best two races.
F1s. I don't like the F1s in America. Don't do it in Miami. It's a spectacle. Blah, 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 blah. Fuck you. The best races in the last.
The best two races
years.
in the last
2 years.
Year. Yeah. Have been in
on
in
our
America.
Soil, bitch. On our soil.
American fucking soil.
And since we're in America, let's fuck, marry, and kill the podium. The actual podium. Lando Norris, Max Verstappen, Charles Leclerc.
I think I want to kill Lando.
Get the fuck out of here.
No, because I want to preserve him in formaldehyde.
One night with Lando, dude. You don't want
in this
one
moment.
Night with Lando.
In this moment.
Yo, you martyr him. it's
I'm James Deaning him right now.
Right.
I'm Jimi Hendrixing him right now.
Damn. You know what? Sorry. Thank you.
I don't. You know who wants to see him fade? I want to kill him. I want to. You know when the rose is in bloom, you turn it upside down, you dry it out, so it is preserved forever.
That's right.
I want to preserve him in this moment.
Okay. Fair.
So I kill Lando. And then put him in like one of those tubes that preserves him, like fucking Lenin in Russia.
Totally.
I think that's what I'll do.
That'll go nicely in the house. It's like remember Billy's Uncle Bro
had the full size
Howard Stern,
which is
doll.
like now that I'm a man, like a grown up.
Yeah,
is just crazy because he was
the most
in his
psychotic
50s.
thing to have in his house.
To be 50-something years old and have a full size Howard Stern.
Like wax sculpture of him, lifelike.
Yeah. And it was not a big apartment.
Insane. Yeah, it was a New York City apartment. Anyway, okay, so you kill Lando. What are you doing with the other two? Who are you marrying? Who
I guess
I
think I'm marrying Max, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
Low maintenance.
Yep.
Low maintenance. I wave. I get to be the person that they. That's my job is to look good for that push in on me.
Yep.
Like that is Max Verstappen's partner, Matt Elizabeth.
Yeah.
And
then one night with Leclerc. I am going to marry Max Verstappen because even today it's like he handled that P2 like the guy. All of the toxicity of his younger days, like now that he's like kind of gotten the monkey off his back, like he was like, yeah, we didn't have the pace today. Yeah, great. Like I love Lando. Lando's a buddy of mine. Like he handled it so well, and I was like, okay, growth. So marrying Max, I think I'm killing Leclerc because I want one night with Lando, baby. Because from what I saw in Amsterdam and what I can imagine is happening in this very moment in Miami. It's going to be a fucking fun night with Lando.
Should I try to find out where Lando's at tonight?
Yeah, you should fucking, try to send out the beacons, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, fucking A. There's a lot, we were in Miami. There's experiences there. Maybe we can talk about it maybe a little bit on the Patreon, but we have an episode next week with Liam motherfucking Lawson, dude. Liam Lawson. We had him a full pod with Liam coming out next week. We'll have a bunch of
one of our best
man
podcasts,
on the street.
Honestly. One of our best interviews. He was awesome.
Yeah. So subscribe on all platforms if you haven't. YouTube, wherever you listen to your pods, TikTok, Instagram, all that good stuff.
I interviewed some F1 Academy drivers.
Yes.
That was fun.
Yeah, we'll have a bunch of that content coming for you this week. Yeah, no, we had a great time in Miami. We did some things. We got some stuff coming for you we can't talk about yet, but it's big, baby. It's big. So stay tuned. Tell all your friends to be on the Red Flags train, baby, because it's about to be moving. It's about to be moving like Lando Norris in Miami, which is fucking fast, baby. Lando Norris, dude. I want you to, Matt, apologize to him. Say I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
For absolutely nothing.
You felt that I didn't give you your just desserts.
Yes. Toxic King.
Goodbye, Vankas.
Vankas, you're the greatest Vankas I've ever seen. Wow, those are great Vankas. I've never seen Vankas like that. Wow, what a great race that was. Greatest race in the world.
Sold out attendance just to see me.
Oh, wow.
In F1 history.
Yeah, that's right. The viewership, unbelievable. All to see me. That's what it was.
Hey, Jenny,
that's
just
right.
fade out as we just do this, please.
Yeah.
That'll
Fade
be
out.
what we do.
Jenny, fade out now. Okay. All right, you motherfucking Vankas. Yeah,
Goodbye,
that's what it is.
Vankas.
Goodbye, Vankas.
Goodbye, Vankas.
I don't care.